You ever met someone who argues with unshakable confidence, but every word that comes out of their mouth makes absolutely no sense? They talk loud, interrupt everyone, act certain, and somehow always end up wrong, but still walk away convinced they've won. It's easy to think it's arrogance, but psychology says there's more to it. That kind of blind confidence often hides one of the most overlooked truths about the human mind. Low intelligence doesn't just mean a lack of knowledge. It means a lack of awareness of how much you don't know. Let's break down the real, science-backed signs of what psychologists call low cognitive ability, not to judge others, but to understand what intelligence truly looks like. The first sign, overconfidence without understanding. This is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, a cognitive bias where people with low ability overestimate their skills because they're too ignorant to recognize their own mistakes. They confuse volume with value. They speak first and think later. And the dangerous part is that they genuinely believe they're right. Because when you lack the depth to grasp complexity, everything feels simple. It's not intelligence, it's illusion. True intelligence, on the other hand, lies in humility. The smarter you become, the more you realize how little you actually know. Wise people question their own certainty because they understand that confidence without comprehension is just noise disguised as knowledge. The second sign, a lack of curiosity. One of the purest forms of intelligence is curiosity, the hunger to know why things work, how people think, and what lies beneath the surface. Intelligent minds are restless. They ask questions, they challenge assumptions, they find beauty in learning itself. But people with low intelligence avoid curiosity because curiosity requires vulnerability. It means admitting you don't know something. To them, learning feels like a threat, not an opportunity. They get bored easily, reject new ideas, and stick to the comfort of what's familiar. Because new information doesn't expand their world, it threatens their ego. The third sign, black and white thinking. Psychologists call this cognitive rigidity, the inability to think flexibly or see shades of gray. Low IQ individuals often live in extremes. To them, something is either completely right or totally wrong, good or evil, success or failure. They can't handle complexity or nuance, so they flatten the world into simple categories. But intelligence thrives on perspective. It can hold two opposing ideas and explore both without panic. It understands that truth is rarely one-dimensional. When you see someone who refuses to understand nuance, who instantly labels everything and everyone, you're not seeing strength, you're seeing limitation. The fourth sign, poor emotional control. Studies have shown that emotional intelligence, the ability to manage emotions, is tightly linked to overall cognitive function. Low IQ often comes with low EQ. These people react impulsively, get offended easily, and take everything personally. They can't pause between emotion and reaction because that pause requires awareness, and awareness requires intelligence. Smart people don't suppress emotions, they process them. They think, then respond. But the less emotionally developed mind confuses reaction for power. They yell louder when they feel smaller. They fight harder when they're wrong because silence feels like defeat. The fifth sign, constant blame shifting. Psychology calls this an external locus of control. It means believing that life happens to you instead of because of you. People with this mindset blame the world, luck, or other people for everything that goes wrong. If they fail, it's the teacher's fault, society's fault, or bad luck, never theirs. Intelligent people, in contrast, accept responsibility, not because they love guilt, but because they understand power. When you take ownership, you reclaim control. Low IQ minds avoid responsibility because it forces them to see their own role in their problems, and that demands self-awareness. The sixth sign, inability to handle opposing opinions. Low IQ individuals often mistake disagreement for disrespect, challenge their belief, and they take it as a personal attack. That's because debate requires reasoning, and reasoning takes effort. Mental effort they're not equipped to handle. Instead of engaging in discussion, they defend with emotion, sarcasm, or anger. They don't argue to learn, they argue to win. Intelligence, however, isn't about winning, it's about understanding. It listens, questions, and adjusts when evidence demands it. The insecure mind needs to be right, the intelligent mind needs to learn. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Low IQ isn't always visible. Many people who sound intelligent are simply skilled at performing confidence. They know the words, but not the meaning. The scariest part is that the lower a person's intelligence, the less they see their own flaws. They lack the meta-awareness to recognize their blind spots. So they live inside a bubble of false certainty, mistaking it for wisdom. That's why awareness is the foundation of real intelligence. It's not how much you know, but how deeply you understand what you don't know. If you truly want to evolve mentally, practice curiosity. Ask questions more than you give answers. Learn how to think instead of what to think. Listen to ideas that challenge you. Reflect before reacting. That's how the mind expands. Intelligence isn't just brain power, it's adaptability, it's emotional maturity, it's humility, it's the courage to admit when you're wrong, and the discipline to grow from it. So the next time someone argues with blind confidence, remember, they might not be strong-minded. They might just be stuck in the illusion of knowing. The real measure of intelligence isn't how loud you are, but how open your mind is. This is the Knownsense, where we decode human behavior, expose psychological illusions, and explore the unseen mechanics of the mind. If you're here, it means you think deeper than most. So if you want to keep learning how people truly think, why they act the way they do, and how to master your own mind in a world full of noise, hit subscribe right now. Because at the Knownsense, awareness isn't just power, it's evolution.